Heroes Like Us is a series intended at sharing comic book characters from various backgrounds and identities. We won't always get everything right, so feel free to make amendments and corrections in the comments. They're always appreciated. What's not appreciated, however, is any form of hate speech or intolerance, so comments of that nature will be immediately deleted and those users blocked from this channel. This is a place of education and celebration. Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic, and welcome to Heroes Like Us. And today we are covering heroes that have a disability. Now, before we dive into this, this is a very sensitive topic and something that I don't take lightly. So I want to apologize if I unintentionally use the wrong language, because I know words carry a lot of weight. And so if I misspeak about something or I use the wrong verbiage or the not appropriate verbiage, know that it was not intentional. I also want to preface with, there's going to be some heroes that I'm not going to talk about because I've done some reading about heroes with disabilities, and there seems to be a consensus that some heroes have, like, how do I phrase this? They have a disability, but their superpower enables them to almost ignore that disability, or that disability has no impact on their life, such as Daredevil, who is blinded, but his superpower is the ability to see everything around him to a degree higher than anyone else. So he's not very relatable for readers that are actually blind. So I'm going to do my best to include heroes here that have a disability, but that is not part of their power, or that does not, it's just part of their identity that they live with, and they also have a superpower. So the one that I want to talk about first kind of fits in this category that I was talking about, where their power kind of trumps their disability, and that is a DC hero named Vengeance Moth. And I'm only talking about her because I think she's really interesting, and it's not a permanent, her ability doesn't permanently cover up her disability. So her disability is she has muscular dystrophy, and she has a wheelchair that she uses to get around, but her power is she can use psionic energy to create this glowing moth that allows her to control her body, so she can move, walk around, she can fly, she can shoot out these blasts of energy, but it is temporary, so it's not a permanent fix. And she uses this ability alongside an activist group called the Movement, and it's kind of like an anonymous kind of group that goes out and deals street justice, basically. So Vengeance Moth, or aka Drew Fisher, is her real name. So super interesting, kind of fits in that category. We're also not going to spend a lot of time on amputees because there are a lot, and in most cases, heroes that get, they lose an extremity, what they get is better than what they had before. So Misty Knight is a police officer, she loses an arm, and she gets an arm that's made of vibranium. And so it's like, is she relatable for people that are actual amputees? Same thing with Flash Thompson, who becomes Agent Venom. He's suited up with this symbiote that not only allows him to walk, but allows him to shoot through the skies with webs and do crazy things. Not super relatable. Another one is Forge, who his ability to create technology allows him to create, I think it's a hand and a leg that are now cybernetic, and they can do crazy things. And again, not super relatable because people in the real world don't have prosthetics that can do crazy things like that. One of the best examples of an amputee is actually a character called Karma. And I talk about Karma in my video about lesbian characters, so you can go there if you want to learn more about her. But her ability is all mental, and she can kind of possess other people's minds, but she happens to have a prosthetic leg. And it's not part of her ability, but it is part of her. So now I want to shift for a second and talk about a hero that has a learning disability, and that is Jubilee from the X-Men. Jubilee's gone through a lot. So she started out, she was a mutant that had these kind of firework, explosive powers, and then she was turned into a vampire. So she's kind of gone through some weird arcs, but interestingly, she was always painted as this academic underachiever. And it turns out she has something called dyscalculia. Again, I apologize if I mispronounce that. Dyscalculia, which basically makes it difficult or impossible for her to do mathematic equations in her head. That math is just very tricky and tough and sometimes impossible. And so she struggles with this, and people always perceive her as just lazy, but really it's a learning disability that keeps her from succeeding in the arena of math. Up next, I want to talk about Professor Xavier. And Professor Xavier is one of the most powerful telepaths on the planet. Marvel Comics, Charles Xavier, he's the founder of the X-Men. His powers are all mental, so he can communicate via telepathy, he can project himself in other places, he can take over people's minds. Very, very powerful. He happened to, in one of his first battles, lose the use of his legs. And so now he uses a wheelchair to get around. And sometimes it's shown as just a kind of standard looking wheelchair, and sometimes it is this super high-tech wheelchair that kind of floats off the ground, like if you're a fan of the cartoons. Very different. While he is paralyzed from the waist down, it doesn't have to do with his mutant ability, it's just part of him. Similarly, over at DC Comics, we have a character called Oracle, and Oracle is a hero by the name of Barbara Gordon, and she began as a vigilante called Batgirl. And she was caught up in this whole mess between Batman and the Joker ended up shooting her, and she lost the use of her legs. She still wanted to fight crime, so she found a way to do that by becoming this character called the Oracle. And Oracle, her skill set is finding information and then relaying that back out to other heroes in Gotham City. So she would kind of find out about crimes and find out mysteries and, uncover things and send them out to people out there on the streets. For a while, she was DC's most prominent hero with a disability. Why I say used to. DC Comics recently did the New 52, and they kind of relaunched everything, and they decided to undo what had happened to Barbara Gordon. So they made her into Batgirl again, where she could be this vigilante, but they got rid of their most prominent hero with a disability, so a lot of people were very upset by that. Lastly, for this list, we have a hero named Echo, Maya Lopez, and her parents were killed, and she was raised by the Kingpin. And the Kingpin taught her that Daredevil was evil and horrible and basically manipulated her into hating him. See, Maya has something called photogenic reflexes, which means when she sees someone fight or she sees someone do something physical, she can replicate it perfectly. So similar to the other hero, Taskmaster, that she can copy someone's fighting style exactly just by watching. So for a while, she went as this name Echo, and she had this white handprint over her face that kind of signified her, that persona. But she also fought for a while under the guise of Ronin, that no one knew who she was, and she wore this bodysuit to make her look like a man, and she fought crime that way. She eventually confronted Daredevil, found out he wasn't evil, and united with him to fight the Kingpin. So she's now been a good guy for a while. Now, why Maya is on this list is that Maya is deaf. So while she's an incredible fighter, she does rely on her eyesight to even the playing field, especially knowing that her ability is to see things and replicate them perfectly, but she is deaf. So those are probably the most prominent heroes. And again, those that I did not talk about might fall in that first category of their disability basically being erased by some sort of superpower. So if there's other ones you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Hopefully this helped. Some of you out there might have one of these disabilities and you kind of wonder, are there heroes like me? And hopefully this video showed you that yes, there are. So let me know in the comments if there's more you want us to talk about. Thanks for watching. See you next time.